Thank you for staying with us. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, where we say it as it is. The crisis in Benue State has finally reached a crescendo. Over the weekend, there was an attack in which over 100 people were killed. Just recently, just yesterday, the governor acknowledged that about 147 people were killed in that attack. Several people were attacked. Majority of them IDPs, and that's internally displaced persons, according to reports. Their houses were burned, people were hacked to death. Very gory pictures, most of which we cannot show here. A lot of things happened in Benue, and Nigerians, well-meaning Nigerians, have been speaking, have been condemning the act, the barbaric act. This has happened over and over again. This is not the first time. For the past couple of weeks, people have been killed in Benue. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, the chief of army staff paid a visit to Benue with some top military officials just to beef up security, boost the morale of the officers there, and find lasting solution to the incessant killings in Benue. But unfortunately, despite that visit, more killings have actually been taking place in Benue State. Even the Pope on Sunday actually mentioned it, prayed for the victims. The Pope described it as a terrible massacre. Other government officials in Benue State have described it as an attempt of complete annihilation of the people of that area. And Nigerians have been speaking. Politicians, leaders, comedians, social media influencers have been calling out on the government, on the president and the governor to do something decisive concerning it. Finally, the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has decided to visit Benue State on Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Before now, he had planned to visit Kaduna. So the president has come out to say that he will be cancelling his visit to Kaduna and he will be touching down in Benue State tomorrow, Wednesday. Right on the screen, you can see the picture of people protesting in Benue, in Makurdi, because they are tired. They are tired of the incessant killings, of the repeated killings. Over 100 people killed, 147 officially confirmed by the governor. The governor also said that before now, that 17 local government areas were in control of terrorists. But right now, only 6 are being controlled by the terrorists. We'll be speaking to these issues and many more on the program today. Joining us on this conversation this morning is Dr. Chuks Maha, a security analyst. Good morning, Dr. Maha. Thank you for joining us again this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Emeka. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure once again.
Absolutely. Yesterday we started this conversation, and thankfully we'll be able to do justice to the topic today. Looking at the incident, the recent happenings in Benue State, Dr. Maha, a lot of people have been killed. The governor has come out to acknowledge that about 147 actually lost their lives. There's been allegations and counter-allegations. In fact, in one of the videos yesterday that surfaced, we saw allegedly government officials, government vehicles escorting cows on the streets of Makurdi. And the people are crying out, saying that human lives are more important than cows. I'd like you to take a look at that quickly just before you respond to that. Right on the screen, we have videos of cows being escorted allegedly by government officials, government vehicles right there.
Makurdi. Sister, look at cows in Makurdi. Sister, look at cows in Makurdi. Benue State government is escorting the Makurdi capital. Sister, look.
Oh my God! Can you imagine this? So,
that was it right there. You see government vehicles allegedly escorting cows in Benue State capital, Makurdi. And earlier in the day, we also saw a video of cows being chased out of the community right there in Makurdi earlier in the day. The people said they are tired of having these cows because these cows are being controlled by Fulani herders whom they believe are the cause of the terror. I also want us to take a look at that. Cows being chased out of the community earlier in the day in Makurdi. All right, we'll call for that later. So, Dr. Maha, looking at everything that has happened so far in Benue, what is your opinion of the whole situation? What exactly is going on? Yesterday, we started talking about it. So many people have been killed. And again, you are a security analyst, Dr. Maha. This is not a one-off experience. So, the security agencies in Benue State, they have no excuse because this has been happening right under their watch over and over again. It's not as if it's just happening for the first time. It has happened before. I mean, week upon week for over 7 weeks now. It's been quite regular in Benue State. And now the last straw that broke the camel's spine was this past weekend when over 100 people were killed. What's your take on that, Dr. Maha?
Well, first and foremost, let's start from the genesis. Let me start this way. People die in Nigeria and nothing is done. When cattle die, panels of inquiries are set up. Why is the case? Who actually owns the cows? That's where we should come to. Who owns these cows? Just like what the videos had stated. Now, we've gone back to the genesis of this. Why will cattle herders carry firearms? Well, if we go back to the genesis of it, this came out as a fallout, as I can say, from cattle rustlers, who steal cows from the headsmen, and the headsmen claimed they needed to protect themselves from rustlers. But does it generate to carry such kind of firearms they carry? These are assault rifles, military issue rifles, and of course, who is supplying them these guns? We're not talking of shotguns, we're not talking of Dane guns or double barrels, but we're talking of assault rifles. Somebody is supplying them this to protect his or her investment, known as the cows. But that's neither here nor there. I just need to mention this for people to have an understanding of the background of that. Protection of property investment. Investment, I mean the ownership of these cows. Having said this, now, the next thing we're then going to is why is this happening? We are being told that Mr. President is visiting Benue State on Wednesday. Why Wednesday? Why not yesterday? Or at worst today? What can be more important than going down to see the people whom you govern? I listened to a program this morning from your station. Nothing can be more important than the people you lead. It has nothing to do with partisan politics. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with where you come from. As long as you're a Nigerian, you live in Nigeria, even if you're a foreigner, the president must show concern because that's what he's been elected for. That's my own take on it. Having said this, I'm happy it's going on because of the pressure being mounted. I said early on that the security agencies we have the best in Africa. And I keep on saying it, and I will not change my stand on that. In Nigeria here and in Makurdi, in particular in Benue State, you have the military presence there. And of course, you have an arm of the DMI, the Defense Military Intelligence from the military. You also have the DSS in every state of Nigeria, and Benue State is also a state. So you have the office of the director of the DSS there. And in every local government, there's a DSS officer. You have the DIA, you have the NIA, and the other agencies, other arms, including the police. You have the Criminal Intelligence Bureau of the Nigerian Police, at the state command, the zonal command, and also at the various area commands that also churn information. So nobody can say information didn't come to them much earlier. The question is that what could they have done to have stopped it on the magnitude of this level of menace, which has now been falling on Benue State. And it's going to spread. That's the worst part if it's not nipped on the board. Today it's Benue. It's been happening in Plateau. It's going to come downwards. It gets into Kogi. The next year it gets into Kwara and comes down to the south. So we need to nip it on the board. And it's not just the president going down there to go and see them. But I said he must make a declaration there and then. And of course, it must be recorded. He must put it into paper. And of course, all the service chiefs there must then move into action. It's not paying visits to the states. Move your offices down. I've said it before. I keep on saying it again. The comfort zone in being in Abuja is not issue. They must be moved out to these areas. Down to Benue State. You have Benue State here. You have Sokoto State there. They should move all the service chiefs there. I said, this is going to be a permanent zone of abode down. You're going to make sure you sanitize this place and to make sure this does not come up. That's what I expect the president to do. Thank you.
Right. You know, Dr. Chuksma, our hearts are heavy this morning, seeing the pictures and the clips, very gory in nature, that, you know, does not even fit in the main media with what we have seen, infants, toddlers. And this is not the first time, just like my colleague said. In fact, this recent when there has been, in the last 2 months, right, there has been, like, at least, conservatively speaking, 3 consistent attacks in Benue State. From these, current one, the former one happened, I think, in Gua West. And all of these, places, and it looks like Benue people are hapless and helpless. Like they are just there. Rhetorics upon rhetorics, visit politicians, security agencies, talking tough and all of those things. Now, yesterday the IGP was in Benue and he spoke. And part of what he said, which I watched and listened to, was that the end has come for these criminals. And one day they will come. They should know that one day they will come and they will not return. And I'm asking, why should you allow them to even come at the people? Is there a psyche that needs to be, that needs to be, I don't know the kind of words that I should use, that needs to be rejected? Because when the #1 policeman in Nigeria is saying that the criminals should know that one day they will come and will not return, that doesn't sound serious to me. It doesn't sound like somebody who knows his job. Respectfully speaking, we should not be waiting for the criminals to come. We should be giving a hot chase, identifying them from wherever they have come from, for wherever they may be gathered. That should be the spirit. Do you think the security agencies even understand? Not all agencies now, security heads. Do they understand what we are grappling with? Do they appreciate this mess that we are in? Because using the word of the IGP, for him to say if they come, they should know that they will not return. Does it sound like somebody who knows the urgency of what he should do? So let's start from there.
Yeah, you've said it, and again, I wouldn't have expected anything different coming from the IGP. And I'll tell you this. All the service chiefs are appointed by the president, and they are all responsible to him. You cannot cry more than the bereaved. In other words, they cannot in any way say anything that is not meant to have been said by the president. So let's wait till Wednesday. Wednesday is just tomorrow. By the time Mr. President pays a visit to Benue State, goes down to the location of where this menace and Oheme took place, he will make certain pronouncements. And when he makes his pronouncements, they become binding on the service chiefs. So it is then we can then weigh and then see, or as it were, score the service chiefs after the president's visits. I want to believe sincerely that by the time Mr. President visits Benue State, there will be a change in all the happenings going on there in Benue, and I want to believe Nigeria as a whole. Don't forget, there's international pressure on the country. There's international pressure on the president. There's international pressure on us, the citizenry of this country, where the Pope had to call in and pray for Nigerians there in Benue State. Other countries have been calling in. Past presidents too are concerned. Political leaders past, unfortunately, present ones are not doing much or saying much now, but I believe in their hearts of hearts, they must be thinking otherwise. Because like I said yesterday on the program, what happens to A can equally happen to B. No one is safe. So I want to start by saying here, let's wait and see after the president's visit to Benue State tomorrow, the service chiefs will be given a new order on what to do and how to go about it. I've said it before and I'll still say it again. No service chief can see anything out of context from what the president, the commander-in-chief, would say or has said. So we need to also be mindful of that. I'm not holding brief for any of them, but that is how the game goes.
All right, Dr. Maha. At this point, I'd like to take you up on your claim that Nigeria actually has the best when it comes to military. You also read out all the security agencies we have. You said it before, Dr. Maha, you said it over and over again, that we have the best military apparatus in Africa. But let's look at the situation on ground, Dr. Maha. Where is this disconnect here? In a single state, not to talk of, insecurity in other states now, we are just focusing on Benue State. Not because other parts of Nigeria are safe. We have insecurity brewing in Plateau State, in Zamfara, in Katsina. I'm still going to go into that, but let's just limit it to Benue State for now. In Benue State alone, we've been having this, barbaric attacks over and over again. And you say, you as a security expert, you claim that we have the best of military in Africa, right here in Nigeria. Then what exactly is happening? Where's the disconnect? Are they politicizing military operations in Nigeria? That's one. Or the military they don't just want to act. So what exactly is the problem? If you say we have the best guys right here in Nigeria and people are being killed, these are not cows. These are human beings who are being killed every week. If you put everything together in the past 2 months, we should be having close to 400 being killed in Benue State alone. So, Dr. Ma, how does that, juxtapose that with your claims of, Nigeria having the best security in Africa? How does that tally?
Yeah,
I mean, how does it? I'm trying to make sense of all of this.
Okay, I'll play it in simple terms. I still stand on my feet saying we have the best in Africa. However, like you rightly said, politics is being played. I spoke about the security of politics versus the politics of security. Now, all the security agencies in the country are all headed by service chief, and all of them are appointees of the president. That you are a governor, you cannot give a command to the service chief within your state. You can only appeal to him that you want this, and this done in your state, which is subject to ratification from above, from his own boss, who in turn will get ratification from the president. That's where we talk about the issue of politics here now. Now, however, if the governor of the state has a good rapport with the various service chiefs within his state's control, he will be able to nip certain things on the board. That is one. So one, he must create that rapport, a platform. And I said, governors can take a cue from Lagos State. And I've been saying this on the program before, and I want to repeat it again. Take a cue from Lagos State, that's one. Secondly, how much funding has the governor done for the security agencies within his states? They said to whom much is given, much is expected. That is the second one. The third one is the governor's understanding of what security issues are. And if he lacks the understanding, he can appoint a commissioner there for security. Some states have started doing it, commissioner for security. And that's it. Who will intervene with the security agents and report back to the governor on security issues? That's the fourth one. The fifth one is, like we said before, like you said earlier, what is the value of human life in Nigeria? Are cows more valuable than human beings, or vice versa? Now, if you say human beings are more valuable, that is the bane of every government anywhere in the world. And in Nigeria, whether it's a local government, state government, or the national government, it's a bane of whoever heads that government to secure its citizenry, first and foremost, before any other thing follows. So we need to get a clearer understanding of that. And once we do, we can. And of course, there will be a change. Well, yes, within Benue State, you have the military, you have the police, you have the DSS, all there at the disposal of the governor. Has the governor called a meeting of these people? And have they done anything? How did he wait? How did he score them? If they were okay, the governor has a right to change the commissioner of police if he's not happy with the commissioner of police there within the states. It's been done. You can take a cue from Delta State. They've changed their commissioner 3 times. Now, if you're not happy, you can change. If you're not happy with the director there of the DSS, you change the director. You write down to the federal to the presidency. You are not happy with that director there. You have the right to change. Now, if you're okay and you're not getting the best, then the problem is yours. Then the next aspect again I want to talk about here is the issue of the use of this paraphernalia within the states. How best are you using them? And again, if you know you don't have enough, as a governor, you cry to your father, political father, and that is the president. And I said here yesterday on the program, unfortunately, we didn't have much time, that if you cannot control it yourself, cry out and ask immediately for a declaration of a state of emergency in your state. There's no shame in it. You only step down for 6 months. When things return back to normal, they hand it back over to you again. Then you continue.
Dr. Maha, sorry to cut in. Are you saying that the governor of Benue State is mismanaging the security apparatus in the states? Is that the problem?
No. I didn't say mismanaging. He's not making the best use of them.
Exactly, that's my point, which means he's not managing them well.
He's not managing them well, making the best use of them. Every state has its own security apparatus. You are given a particular level. If you want more, you ask for more. And when you're asking for more, it's a question of, can you afford it? Security is not a child's play. Security is money. So if you need more, you demand for more and be ready to set more resources aside for it. That is it.
All right. Now,
I didn't say it's not managing well. I said stop making the best use of them. That's the point I'm saying. Please quote me right. Not making the best use of them. They are there for a service. That's beck and call. That's the point I'm saying. You make the best use of it. And they will tell you what is needed from their own perspective to be able to combat or do what you want of them. And if they don't have the resources, they tell you, you provide for the resources. And that's why most state governments have security, what do I call it now? Trust funds.
Security votes.
To provide and cater for the various agencies.
All right. Now, identify what these issues are is a very important one. And understanding where this is coming from. We understand that Benue has not necessarily been maybe the safest of all places, especially as these headers, at a point it used to be headers farmers, especially crisis under President Muhammadu Buhari. Different interventions were made and all of those things. So some of these issues have been going on for years, killings. And right now, many persons in that state are saying this is not farmers and herders clash again. This is more like an ethnic cleansing. This is more like wiping out of some people. This is more, some even allege it's about land grabbing. You know, come there, kill them, pursue them, take the land, either for herding, either it's for mineral resources and all of those things. And it's been, there are political undertone to this as well. The governor has categorically accused the Abuja-based politicians, the politicians from the state who are based in Abuja, to say they are the ones feeling this problem. The so-called Abuja politicians, senators, National Assembly caucus have held a meeting saying they don't know anything about it. In fact, they challenge the governor to name anyone involved in this. The governor was said to have said he will come out with a security report. I think last week. This is another week. Nothing has come up. So the people are supposed to know. At a point, it was a disagreement about the figures. Okay, the police are saying something, the governor is saying another. At a point, there was a religious undertone to that as well. And it seems, and in all of this, the people are dying. These criminals keep killing people. Now, there is another dimension I want us to add to that. That is the statement of the president. But before we do all of that, I mean, because there is a video to that effect, but before we play it, Dr. Maha, the people are supposed to know. It seems they are distracted. It seems they don't know. Or do we say they don't care? Because it's been accusations against accusations, accusations and counter allegations, and it seems they don't really understand what is going on. Is it because they don't understand, or in the usual typical fashion of Nigerian leaders, not caring enough to see that we are all, as a nation, in a big mess?
At the beginning of the program, when I got into your station, I heard when you spoke about David Mark's comments, former Senate President, former Governor, military administrator, and all that. And he said that people have the right to self-defense. I've said that before. The Constitution provides that. Now, the law and its interpretation must be seen to the letter. It's unfortunate that the judiciary is not doing what is meant to be done. Well, in a case of self-defense, I protect my life, and you still charge me for murder, it's totally wrong. At the best, you can talk of manslaughter, but not murder. So now I've said on the program, I said yesterday, I'm saying it again, the people should stand up and fight if it need be. Stand up, fight for your life, fight for your land, and of course, fight for the future. And that's it. Once this is done, I tell people, and I say it, the only way to counter an attack on you is to prepare for that attack. The people must be ready and must die. And of course, in the readiness, if the government doesn't back them up, you have to back yourself up, individually, collectively, as a clan, as a community, to protect yourselves. As long as you're not the aggressor, there's no problem. As far as I'm concerned, that's my own personal opinion.
What I was trying to say,
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. However, the claims of whether it's a genocide, ethnic cleansing, or anything of that, I will say, for me, I will say it's purely coincidental. These are IDPs that were collected together, and these people are trying to show, without quite show of power, trying to reckon with as a force, as the group to be reckoned with. And of course, unfortunate lives were lost that way.
Yeah, Dr. Ma.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, there is this criticism that has through the president's statement. In fact, many persons are seeing him to be somebody who appears allegedly unbordered, because the statement we had yesterday that, he was going to cancel his visit, and I think you hinged on that earlier, by saying he's going to cancel his visit and, get to Benue by Wednesday. You said, why not yesterday? Why not immediately? Why not today? In fact, the conversation has been, what more can the president's schedule contain beyond the real reason, the number one reason why it's in government, to protect people's lives and property? That would be the foremost duty of any government and any leader in government. But they have postponed it to tomorrow. What happens between yesterday and tomorrow? Yesterday we heard from the same government that the president has given the security agencies, I think the marching of that, to go ahead, and implement everything that he has, told them before, the instructions and all of this. Now, talking about criticism now, the president has been under fire for describing Benue massacre as a reprisal attack. But I will allow you to see what the president said, especially when he promised the people of Benue that it's coming tomorrow. Please take a look.
Why I sympathize with the Benue people, I've spoken to the governor. The leadership and people of Benue should accept our condolences and tried hard, very, very consciously, to maintain peace, harmony among themselves. I've always said this, that we are one single, huge family. I sympathize those who have lost their life. I will adjust my program and go see Benue people on Wednesday.
All right, Dr. Maha, I don't want to add anything. What do you make of that speech from the president?
Well, he has spoken as a father, first and foremost, as a father, whom he is. Fortunately and unfortunately, Father's Day just went past a few days ago. Now, as a father, I expected him to have said what he said. And you see, let's put it this way. The president is definitely in a position, because he has more information on what goes on in the country than you and I. So there's some aspect of information
is that correct?
Which you and I
Dr. Ma, would that be correct to say the president only has the same information that I have? That would not be true, isn't it?
No, I didn't say has the same information. I said has more information.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, not the same. Please stop me wrong.
Yeah.
Has more information than what you have or what I may have.
Yeah. So
let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Thirdly, for security reasons, you cannot just walk into a place like that, not when you hold a high level position as president. Don't forget, the advanced party will go in, as he goes off, as he says things, as advisors are telling him things, you do this, you do this, you do that. Don't forget, it's a political office. It's the one office, and you need to be very careful. We cannot just say, oh, kill him, he's done this, he's done that. No. As a human being, sentiments are all with us. I agree. And that's why I said, oh, I would have loved if he went immediately. But I know he cannot go immediately. Because the advanced party must go. We must make sure that the president is safe at all times, because we do not know, it may be a plot to bring him down there, and anything could happen, and that would not happen to our president. Yes. Right. So put it this way: I am not holding I'm not holding forth for anybody. I'm speaking as a Nigerian. I'm speaking from the individualist point of view, which I have a right to speak. I'm not exciting anybody or indicting anybody. No. But I want to say here, I'm happy he has agreed he's going to go down to Benue. And I pray that you, the fourth arm of government, that will be there present when Mr. President is there, ask questions to get him to make a commitment, not only for Benue, but for the whole of the country. Once he puts that commitment, it's quoted down there, and he puts it to black and white, then we'll then get a turnaround. I've said it before.
All right, Doctor.
When he speaks, yeah, okay, go ahead.
We're due for a break. Please stay with us. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Thank you for staying with us. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Now, we've been reviewing the security situation and the happenings in Benue State recently, and we have with us Dr. Chuks Maha, a security consultant and analyst. Before we went on that break, Dr. Chuks, we just saw the clip of Mr. President who made a statement concerning the happenings. And in his words, he said that he will adjust his schedule to make room for Benue visits. Those were the words, exact words he used there. A lot of Nigerians are saying, why is he, making it look as if it's a sacrifice for him? Make sense of it here. Do you mean that an attack can be going on somewhere and there's a military base, they are aware of it, they cannot do absolutely anything unless they are asked to go in?
Exactly, yes. I've said it. Yes, you cannot go as a soldier. A discipline officer, you cannot. All you do is to protect yourself unless an order. You send a distress signal. We are under attack until an order is given to them to go out to counter it. You cannot go anywhere.
Interesting one.
Yes.
There. Yeah.
That's it. And actually, that's the price we pay for democracy.
Now,
if not, there will be total chaos. If not, there will be total chaos.
All right. I want to bring it back rather. What the president said, which has been generating ripples, and all of these things that we are seeing, especially his choice of words when he said, he made it to look like it, he mentioned the word reprisal attack. In fact, let me read what he said. And according to Daily Post, that President Bola Tinubu has come under heavy criticism for referring to the recent killings in Benue State as a reprisal attack. There have been reports that the president has condemned the killing over 200 villagers in Yelwata, Guma local government area of the state, and termed the ugly incident a reprisal attack. According to the statement by his media aide, Bayo Ononuga, and I quote, the president has renewed his order in the wake of the latest round of reprisal attacks that led to the death of many people, And do you see it that way as well? That is insensitive, or is it that the president has some brief, obviously he will, that we don't have, but referring to what has been happening in Benue, especially this latest one, as a reprisal attack? Many people in Benue are not having it. They are calling it a genocide. This is not one community against the other, but the president referred to it, a term, or a phrase in his word, in that statement, by saying we should not engage in a reprisal attack. What's your take on this?
You see, we need to be very careful. Whether it's choice of words, I'm not a lawyer. I don't practice diction. Mr. President is a human being. He's not an English linguistic person, specialist. He uses his own choice of words based on what information is being fed to him and how he seems best. But again, too, Mr. President too has to also be careful with his choices, so he does not create another form of what am I going to? I don't want to use the word confusion now. Create more problems than what is already on ground. Like I said, I'm not absolving anybody, but you see, it's difficult. More especially, the president doesn't have a military background, so the choice of words he has to be careful with, and so he doesn't incite the public. The briefing he was given to would also depend, make out what words he uses in trying to describe the situation on ground. But put it this way, even when President Jonathan was in office, he had such criticisms too when we had such problems, which would have been totally different from when we had President Buhari or President Obasanjo in office, because these two gentlemen had a military background. The way they see things and the way they act will be totally different from the guy who does have a military background.
Now,
I want us
Doctor,
to
let me quickly add this. If I may
I know where I'm coming. I know where I'm going. Now, we need to note that one. Now, he's coming down, so we do not know his commitments, which he had made when he had previous engagements for today and for tomorrow, which the president says he's going to cancel, because we do not know the effect of it.
Right.
But we do know it's expected of him that if your house is on fire, you should go and resolve that aspect of your house where the fire is. If not, it will spread and the entire house can go down. Remember, on this program of ours, we spoke sometime when Nigeria, the vice president, went off to United Nations and wanted Nigeria to get a seat as a permanent member of United Nations. Remember my view about it? I said we cannot be a member if we've not sorted ourselves out at home. The whole world is watching us. So this is the time Mr. President should do something for the world to see us that we are a serious nation.
Right, you know, talking about, Dr. Ma, talking about the president doing something, he has been quoted to say enough is enough right now. And all the security agencies, head and all of them, you know, should do what is right, should act on it. Of course, we'll be going there tomorrow as well. And, you know, the IGP was in Benue yesterday. I'm not sure if he's still there. Yes. Who, by the time Kayode Egbetokun, thank you,
yes.
Dr. Kayode Egbetokun, who said, and I said it earlier, but I want us to happen that, because when these men of influence, leaders, when they speak, people hold them to their words and they read all kind of meanings to it. He was talking, and then he said that these criminals should know that their time is up, and very soon they will come and not return. For me, I see it as an unserious statement from my own point. Why must we wait until they come? It doesn't show. You know, I've listened to speeches from, you know, military heads all over the world, from Israel to even Iran. You know, the unconventional ones, if we may tag it that way, the United States, the UK. When they speak, you know that this sounds like people that are talking. But when you see the number one policeman saying, the criminals should know that when they come, one day they will not return. What do you make of that? Because these are not just words. It shows. I can't see your mind, but when you speak, I can know what you are thinking. Does it show like these people understand the enormity? Well, and that has shown. I'm particularly happy on this because that has showed in the way our military and security operatives work. They wait till we are attacked, and then they do the pursuing. And all of these things, can't we just, you know, make a sharp departure from waiting for us to be attacked and then we then give a chase? This is 2025, Doctor. Are you impressed by that statement? Because he said
it. Put it this way. I want you to look at it. Like I said, I'm not holding brief for anybody. I know Kayode himself. Yeah. He's an officer and a gentleman. I know him particularly. I know him. Now, you need to be very, very careful. My job function in the course of doing things is different from my political function. And that's the thing I want to say. As the number one police officer who is in charge with internal security, he is expected or was expected to have visited the scene of where the crime, this menace, took place. So he's gone there as his function to go down there. But you see, when you are making pronouncements to the public, you need to be very, very careful on your choice of words. It's better he is talking soft than you talk hard and you cannot do it.
But does that inspire confidence? Dr. Ma, does that inspire confidence in the people?
Hold on. I said something. I know the gentleman very well. Now, because I know him, I know what can be done. And he's going to be on the entourage when Mr. President comes in tomorrow into Benue. All the service teams are going to be with him. And you're going to see there's going to be a different thing that you're going to get out tomorrow. And we're all waiting for it. And I'm very happy you being the fourth arm of government, fourth realm of government. All right. You will see, and from then on, we're going to begin to score them thereafter. We're going to take the president by his words. And that's why I said on the program much earlier before you took the break, that I pray you were there, your station, or other journalists there, your professional colleagues are there, to bring it out of the mouth of the president, to make a commitment there and then tomorrow. And when he's there, it's binding on him. Don't forget, he's the father of all of us in Nigeria. Whether you want to say biological, political, or what kind of father, but he's the father of all of us. And He said, like you said earlier, there is no division. He said it there. It's not to do with Christianity or Islam. It's not to do with whether you're from the north or you're in the south. It's not to do with whether you're from the political party or the opposition political. It has to do that you are in Nigeria, operating in Nigeria, living in Nigeria. And that is the thing. And I want to believe because we are all going to be affected one way or the other. The fact that we're not in Benue now doesn't mean we don't have friends, relations in Benue, and that we're all Nigerians. We want to see a complete change security-wise. And I pray the brief given to all the service chiefs will change. This is what I want going forward. We don't want to hear this kind of thing happening anywhere in Nigeria going forward. And then the Nigerian service chiefs will now become more proactive than being reactive. Because that's the word you're looking out for, being proactive versus being reactive.
Absolutely.
I want to believe the situation is going to change. So let's begin to wait till tomorrow, and we'll begin to score the presidency and the service chiefs thereafter.
All right, Dr. Maha, away from the politics and, of course, the semantics of the speeches of the president and the IGP, I want us to look at the core issues here, the tactical approach. And this is a follow-up to the question I asked you earlier. Earlier, Dr. Maha, you made it clear that as part of democracy, that no military agency, no security agency can swing into action no matter the attacks going on around them unless they are given the orders. And that's quite clear. That's part of the democracy. That's the price we pay for it. Now, Dr. Maha, that brings us to intelligence. Nothing stops our intelligence agencies from carrying out from doing their work. Okay? Instead of waiting, instead of being reactive, like you said, why can't we be proactive? So I want us to take a holistic look at our tactical approach when it comes to security matters in Nigeria. If we have leaders who are playing politics allegedly with security issues, what is the job of our intelligence agencies? We have the DSS, we have the NIA, we have the DIA, or whatever you call them. You read out some of them earlier. So we have quite a number of intelligence agents in Nigeria. How are they faring when it comes to their tactical approach? Why are they not foiling these attacks? Take a look at Benue State again. The same thing happening over and over again, and we have security agencies, and you claim we have intelligence agencies, and you claim that these guys are the best in Africa. I'm still trying to make sense of it, because if we have intelligence agencies who cannot foil these attacks. Now, Dr. Maha, for you to foil an attack, you do not need permission from anyone. As a security guy, as a security agency, on your own, Dr. Maha, you can actually foil an attack. You don't need any permission just to know that, oh, these guys are going to do this. Let us stop them from doing it. So when are we going to move from being reactive to being proactive? What is the mismatch here? What's the problem we are having? Why? Can you say, Dr. Maha, are we still operating, so to speak,
I'll give it to you,
an analog intelligence agency, or are we digital, or what's the problem?
Okay, good. Now, I'll give it to you in black and white, Emeka. You're always just still being sentimental. I'll still stand, I'll state again, and I'm waiting for anybody who would tell me wrong or say wrong on it. We have the best security agencies. We gathered information. The informations have been gathered, turned out, summarized, sent to the state governor for the security agents within the state. He gets his own brief on it. I don't know whether it's weekly or how they work it out there within the state or daily, but he gets it. And that goes to the presidency, gets it through the office of the NSA. All the security agencies send it down first to their headquarters, and in turn is sent to the office of the NSA, the National Security Advisor to Mr. President, who in turn summarizes everything, collates it, and sends it to Mr. President. This is what is happening within the country, from this state, from this local government to this individual. All information is gotten. Now, the issue which you spoke about, the fact I have information on somebody doesn't mean I am going to react immediately. No. If it's a one-on-one, if it's a crime, something which only affects an individual, yes. But if it's going to affect a state or the nation, no, you need to get clearance. It's that clearance that mobilizes you, that authorizes you to do this, because these things have reprisals. They have consequences.
Oh, so Dr. Maha, sorry to cut in. Not being sentimental, I'm just sharing the views of opinions of Nigerians. No, so there is no sentiments here. So I just wanted you to clarify as a security expert. So you are saying categorically, Dr. Maha, that these intelligence agencies still need clearance for them to foil attacks. Are you saying their hands are still tied when it comes to prevention of these attacks?
Now, I'll help you out. That I gather information. Each of these agencies are there gathering information, and they gather the information. They don't work alone. They pass it back again to their head, who in turn sends it back down to Abuja, where the official offices there of all the service chiefs are there, and then decisions are then taken. But for you to take a decision to act or to react, then you must have the order coming down from the commander-in-chief. If it's one that's going to escalate, that will go beyond an individual, then you must get clearance. Because all these things are put in various buckets. If you're talking of insurgencies, because when you talk of crime, I'm not talking of petty thieves now. I'm not talking of misdemeanors or miscreants. We are talking of people who are doing things that are bordered around felony, which are federal offense, capital offenses. So you need to be very, very careful about it. And that's why I said we need to move off sentiment. But now, don't forget, we have the legislative arm of government. What are our legislators doing about it? To say, okay, fine, we're going to pass laws. These are the laws that are going to enable the service chiefs take out certain things now. I hope our legislators are listening now, based on this criticism we are bringing up, to say, fine, you do not need to wait to hear from the president. These laws will empower you act. These are the laws we're talking about, either at the state level for the police or at the federal level for the military and the police too. So once these laws are put into place and are passed out and signed off executive orders, then we can then say, okay, fine, you don't need to wait. Because there must be a legal backing. If your life is lost, how do you account for it? That is a problem. Because we, the people, will still cry out again.
Just before we go on the break,
of power. We're going to cry out again. Abuse of power. The police are shooting, they're killing. The DSS are shooting and killing. Killing at one top, just like, no, you see. That is where the issue is. So how do you strike the balance?
All right, Dr. Mark, just before we go on the break, I'd like you to attend to the second part of the question. Are we technologically driven? Our security agencies, our intelligence agencies, are we technologically driven at this point? Will you give it to them technologically, or are we still, operating an analog apparatus system, so to speak?
I have not gone to visit all the outfits to say whether they're technology driven or not. But if I am to have my way individually, I'll probably give them a minor pass mark, because we are not investing on technology in this country. We are meant to have satellites. The Nigerian satellite, where is it? Is it operational? If it is, how come we have not been able to pick out where these guys are? That's the first aspect of technology with you and I should be talking about now. The highways, do we have satellites up to monitor the highways? The answer is no. What's the federal government doing? What are the various state governments doing concerning investment in technology? All of them are guilty of it. And that's what we're talking about. So if you talk of technology, you and I know the answer about that. Are we able to trace vehicles? Are we able to trace human beings along the road? We have kidnaps. Can we track them down? The answer, But we have the theoretical aspect of it, but the physical thing, infrastructure to be put in place is not just there.
All right. All right. Thank you, Dr. Ma. We'll go on a short break. When we return, the conversation continues. Please stay with us.
Event.
Thank you for staying with us. We're still talking about the security challenges in Benue State, and we've been speaking with Dr. Chuks Maha, a security consultant and analyst. And recently, the people have protested. The people are tired of the incessant killing, of the carnage going on, of the annihilation attempts, according to some reports going on right there in Benue State. I'd like us to take a look at that just before we proceed.
Benue killing. Stop 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 Benue killing. They go. Stop Benue killing. Stop Benue killing. Stop Benue killing. Alpha. Stop Benue killing. 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 Where they go? Where they go? Stop Benue killing. Stop Benue killing. What's that guy get juju? What's that guy get juju? As we get together, so nobody got us also. Stop.
Those were protesters right there in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. The people are tired of the incessant killings and they are calling out on the government to stop the killings because they are fed up. Dr. Maha, you made it clear that part of the things we need to do as a people to empower security agencies, because according to you, in most cases, they are helpless, is to also look into our legislation, to work on our legislation that will empower them to be proactive, okay, in their tactics, in their tactical approach towards, curbing all these incessant killings. My question to you now is, just let's look at the people, for instance. We've seen protests on the streets of Makurdi, the Benue State capital. At this point, Dr. Maha, it will take time for us to have an overhaul of the security apparatus. It will take time for us to have changes in legislation as it concerns security. Where does that leave the people? In your opinion, as a security consultant and expert, what can the people do for now just to make sure they are not being killed? Other experts have been talking. People like T.Y. Danjuma have said, people should take up arms and protect themselves. Okay. Former Senate President David Mag has also warned that they might have to resort to self-defense. In your opinion, what can the people do at this point? Why we wait on the government? Why we wait for the government to take up their responsibility? What can the people do?
Okay, let's talk about democracy. We're going to look at democracy from the angle of security. Security of the people, by the people, for the people. Security of the people, by the people, for the people. In the clip you just showed now, with the people demonstrating the youth, let me ask you a question, fundamental question. Where did you see any of the local government legislators there? The chairman, did you see him there joining the youth? No. Did you see the states as legislators there amongst them, representing the states that the people voted for to represent them and their interests? Did you see them? No. Where are these people? Where are the legislators? If the legislators were there, the government of Benue State will then know firsthand that this is a serious matter. That is the thing I'm talking about. We are still playing lip service for security in Nigeria. The people are far away from their leaders. There's a disconnect between the leaders and the people. How I wish laws can be passed on in this country that says if you're a legislative, the local government chairman or legislator in the local government, you cannot live outside your domain. You must live within your ward, within your domain. If you're a legislator at the state level, you must live within your domain. You can't go out. If you're a governor, you have no business in Abuja except invited by Mr. President. Stay in your domain. Then we'll still need to see a different Nigeria. He who wears the shoes, no way pinches. That's one. The truth is that I pray we do not fall into a state of anarchy. And you see, we need to be very careful. I'm happy Mr. President is going down to Benue tomorrow. When he sees things himself, this time not getting briefed from third parties, but seeing things himself, he'll be there with the service chief standing beside him or behind him. He will issue orders. And when those orders are given, and that's why I say there will be a change. And from that point,
are you
we're
saying,
going to begin to score
Dr. Maha, are you saying the people are helpless for now? There is absolutely nothing the people can do for now.
No, I didn't say there's nothing they can do. Individually, you have the right. The Constitution provides for self-defense, protection of your life. The Constitution is there, 1999 Constitution. You have the right to protect yourself. You can't come to my domain and come and do anything to me. I get rid of you. As long as it's within my domain, not outside my domain. There's no judge, no court. I'll tell the judge, if you were in my shoes, what would you do? Wait. Because you see, there are many aspects of it. Left for me, Emeka, if I were the IGP, really and truly, I would withdraw all security agents, all policemen from all these people. Only Mr. President, the Vice President, the governors and deputy governors will have security covers. Or every other person, no, he must live as a normal citizen. Things are just changing. And that's why they're not feeling the pinch. Their houses are protected.
All right,
Their properties are guarded.
Yeah, we're running short of time, and that your last take, we have seen it being said over and over. Almost every IGP will come, including Dr. Kayode Egbetokun, will come and say, oh, the VIP should be stripped of the police details that they have, especially armed policemen. We have had it.
Yeah.
Baba Ahmed said it. Almost all of them said it. Nothing has happened. Now, the reason why we're having this conversation, obviously, we are not from Benue, but this is about Nigeria. And you've alluded with our point as well to say if it's happening in Benue, you might not know where's next. And every life counts.
Yes, that's true.
Either it's that of the low-earning persons or the high flyers and the politicians, the big men and women. Every life should matter. So when the president speaks, and people would, that's the reason why they have people who make speech for them. And sometimes that's why the president doesn't, you don't see him speak every time, because people will make a sense of what they say. People will read the body language. People will read the tone, because they are leaders. People are looking up to them for leadership. So either it's the semantics that has been used, either it's their choice of words, either it's the technical approach, either it's intelligence. Everything is very important in this conversation because it has to do with the Nigerian people, and all is core. And that is why we're having this conversation this morning. But, my take, possibly my last question on this matter would be, this is one that we have seen happen. In fact, a few days ago, we learned, and it was reported that the chief of army staff is relocating, or relocated to Benue. This same Benue, only for maybe, I'm not sure, at best, maybe a visit. Now, the president is there, and people are will be there tomorrow, and people are looking onto him for leadership. Shouldn't heads be rolling? We are waiting for what you will say. In fact, mostly this morning you have said we should wait for the president. He will be the one there to see to the issues tomorrow. Now, we have had previous presidents, previous head of state, give, even under Buhari it happened, when he categorically sent the IGP there to go to this same Benue. Only 4 months later, when he visited, the people said he never even slept there. He went there on a visit, went to Nasarawa to spend the night, and nothing happened. We are used to president issuing orders, and it doesn't seem like the people who have these orders are aware
to me that cattle herdsmen or whoever it is, or hunters, you have no business unless you're permitted, and you must have the license to be there. If not, you'll be smoked out. Let us pass that law first. All herdsmen in the country must be registered and licensed. If you're going to move from one local government to another local government or state to state, different licenses that will be given to you and the rest of your troopers that will follow you on the grazing routes. Once we can do this, full registration, and of course, no carriage of any form of arms, except your cutlass, no firearms whatsoever, then I want to believe this will be on the decline. We need to take drastic actions. Remember, these cattle are owned by individuals. Most of the cattle you see, I want to say on the air now, are not necessarily owned by Northerners, Southerners, owned by Igbos, Yorubas, Ibibios. It's the best form of investment, but you need the Fulani herdsmen to help you maintain your assets. That's the problem. And that's why most governors have their hands tied. They see it, but when they know who owns it, nothing can be done. Somebody needs to say the truth. And that is it. Well, at this point, I'll leave it there. I pray Mr. President's visit to Benue State to be successful. We'll get to hear what he wants to tell us, and what he tells us will gladden our hearts. And the service chiefs will do the needful to ensure they nip it and, of course, become more proactive than being reactive in the future. Thank you, Femi, and thank you, Emeka.
All right, Dr. Maha, just before we let you go, I would really like you to attend to this. At this point, Dr. Maha, as a security expert, what would you recommend, and what should we as Nigerians expect to see? You said you're looking up to the president's visit to Makurdi, to Benue State tomorrow. What should we expect? Should we expect to see, changes, in our military policies and strategies, long-term, changes that will have long-term effects on our military defense policies? Or should we just expect to see, short-term changes just to take care of this, menace for now? What do you expect as a security expert? What do you recommend? What would you recommend? And what should we expect as Nigerians?
As Nigerians, we expect to see a short-term measure, first and foremost, to nip it, then long-term changes in the strategy and deployment of men going forward into the future, where we have people there at the borders, within the local governments, within the states, to make sure that this menace does not arise again. It's a two-way approach. Short term, to nip it down immediately all over the country, and long term, to ensure we're now proactive with all the security agencies. That synergy must be there with all the security agencies, whether you're from the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, the police, the DSS, whichever one it is. As long as you're an armed carrying security agency, there must be a synergy amongst all of them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maha. It's been a pleasure having you join us again on the program today. Dr. Chuks Maha is a security consultant and analyst. Thank you once again for joining us this morning.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And of course, to you, our distinguished viewers all over the world, thank you for staying with us on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Please do well to join us again tomorrow for a fresh edition of Morning Spring. Emeka Daniel is my name. Do have a wonderful day. Good morning.
Thank you to everyone, the production team that have worked with us today. My final take on this matter today is this, and I'm speaking to the president. The whole world is waiting. I like to speak directly, if we can do that. The whole world is waiting and waiting to see what will happen tomorrow. I am waiting. He is waiting. Everybody is waiting. The world is tired. Nigerians are tired of these killings that we are currently seeing. Mr. President, you are the commander-in-chief of the federal armed forces, of the armed forces of this Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's time to show workings, as they say. May God bless you. May God help you. May God help the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Femi Ojo is my name. We stand with Benue, not with Nigeria.